every decision making in hypothesis or statistical hypothesis. I mean, yes, when we have a hypothesis and we want to um, we want to make a conclusion about the hypothesis, or we have um, to prove the hypothesis, uh, we we can use this number uh, to make the conclusion. Yes, I mean that um, we do not need the confidence 100% confidence to make to prove hypothesis, but we only not only we need only 95% of the confidence to uh, yes, to prove the hypothesis, to prove a hypothesis. Okay, and when we use this number 100%, 100% is equal to 1, yes, and 0% is equal to 0. So the number between 0 and 1 is a probability. Yeah, we have studied about the probability in 2 weeks ago, or one weeks ago, about the probability, and the probability is between 0 and 1. Probability is equal to 0 when the phenomena is impossible to be happen, and the probability is equal to 1 when the phenomena is sure, or uh, the phenomena is yes certain to be happen, yeah, or must be happen. So in almost phenomena is between 0 and 1. Okay, and from the probability from the web, we can also understand about the level of confidence. Our confidence is between 0 and 1, 0 and to 1, 0 to 100%. Okay. Okay. I think it is the main okay. I think it's in the main utility of statistic. Yeah. So I think in almost all of research field, yes, we will use this term, this definition, or this mm, understanding about the probability, and also a level of confidence to prove a hypothesis. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Sample population sample. I think you have studied about the sample and population from Budani, I think. Yeah. You okay? Okay. Yes, from the from the picture we can see that the first the first thing that from research design or experimental design in many fields, I think it also including in your fields in linguistic fields. I think the first is to find problem. What's the problem? And then we can make a hypothesis that will be proven by an experiment or experiment in is based on your own uh, yeah. I'm sorry, I have to. Yes. Okay. Yes. The experiment is yes, because based on your own scholarly, yes, your own science. Okay. Okay. And then after you have data based on your activity for research and you have a data, you will use data analysis and then make a conclusion about your hypothesis, and you have to reject or have to accept the hypothesis. Okay, and this will use statistic. Okay, and as I said before that when we have a deduction, when we make a deduction or we make a conclusion uh, about the hypothesis, we we can use 95% of level of confidence, yes, to accept or to reject the hypothesis. And from the research, uh, we 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 hope that we can prove the hypothesis, and we can um, yes, we can prove our conjecture, I think, yeah. Okay. Yes, and maybe I have to start our course about the hypothesis by practical of research in qualitative data analysis. I mean about the validity and reliability test for qualitative data analysis. Okay, because you are come from social science, so in social science, and the most research fields is in qualitative data. Okay, so I want to introduce you about qualitative data analysis. Okay, yes, I want to open on the website, I think, about the validity and reliability. Can you see my computer, my monitor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is about, uh, I'm sorry,
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is, yeah, about validity and reliability in research. Okay. Yes. Validity. This is the definition of validity. Validity is the extent to which a test measures what it claims to measure. It's vital for a test to be valid in order for the result to be accurately applied and interpreted. Um, okay. Uh, uh, this is the difference between how to measure qualitative data and also quantitative data. Yeah. For example, when we have to measure our weight, yeah, no, or weight, we only need to uh, yes apa to use means that timbangan. What's the English of timbangan? You know, timbangan. Apa Mbak? Timbangan apa? Alat untuk menimbang badan. Punya scale. Okay. If we want to uh, if we want to weigh, yeah, our weight, yeah, we only need to uh, get get on the scales. Yeah, I think, yeah, you can only get on the scale, and then we will uh, we will be understand, we will know how many weight, yeah, how many kilogram of our weight, yeah, and just only get up to the scales, get on the scales, I think, yeah, and and for example, when we have about 70 kilograms, about 70 kilograms, so when we get on the scale and the number in the scale is equal to, for example, 70.5 kilograms, and is still in the ring of our weight, so we can say that the scales is valid. Okay, scale is valid because the results the number resulting from the scales when we get on the scales is yes is almost the same with our actual weight. So the scale is we can call that the scale is valid. And then the second is for example when this morning we get on the scales, and then our weights or the number resulting from the scales is equal to 70. And then this afternoon uh, we we get on the scales again, and then the number resulting is equal to 70 again, or maybe yes 70.5, 70.1, I think like this. So we can see that the scale is reliable. We can believe to the scales because uh, this this morning and this afternoon we we get almost the same results. So the scale we can say that the scale is reliable. Okay, reliable means that can be believed, can be believed, or trustworthy, or consistent. The number resulting from the scale is consistent. This morning is 70, and this afternoon is uh, also 70. So the scale is uh, reliable. So this is the two kind of qualitative data measurement, yeah, and valid and reliable. Valid and reliable. Uh, Valid and reliable is two terms or condition uh, that have to be fulfilled by I think measuring instrument to kind of the requirement, the measuring instrument requirement is are uh, valid and reliable. So when we have to make a measurement for a qualitative data, uh, these two requirement are needed too. Okay, valid and reliable. Valid and reliable. So the measurement instrument required require valid and reliable. Okay. Uh, and in qualitative data analysis, um, we cannot measure directly as in quantitative data like a weight in my example before. Uh, in qualitative data analysis, for example, when we have to measure satisfy maybe satisfaction, I mean satisfaction, or for example when we have to measure performance, I mean thing performance, we cannot measure how your performance, how your satisfaction when I teach you. Because when someone answer that, oh, my satisfaction is 8, and another person, maybe he or she have the same satisfaction to me, but maybe she or he will be um, say another number, not 8, but only 7. Although maybe when someone have satisfaction to me is equal to A, and then another person, maybe she or he have the same satisfaction to me, but the number mentioned will be different, maybe 7 or 7.5, although the satisfaction is the same. Or another example is when someone have satisfaction is 7, and the other is have the satisfaction is also 7. Maybe they have different satisfaction to me, although the number is the same. So this measurement not a valid measurement. So we have to use another indicator to measure a qualitative data analysis, like performance, satisfaction, and etc. Okay, we have used some indicators to measure satisfaction, to measure performance, or another terms about the qualitative measurement. Okay. Yes. Reliability. Okay. This is what is the reliability example. Reliability is a measure of the stability of or consistency of test score. For example, medical thermometer is a reliable tool that will measure the correct temperature each time it is used. And the example is, I think, like scales to measure our weight, as my uh, previous example. I think it's similar, yeah. So the mesh the measure needs consistency or stability, and it called by reliability. And then in validity, and so what's the difference between validity and reliability? The validity refers to the extent to which a test measures and what it claims to measure, whereas reliability refers to the consistency of the test results. However, when the results or a test is valid, then the data is reliable. Okay. Uh, okay. Yes. Okay. Any question about reliability and validity? I think it's just a brief introduction about the validity and reliability. Any question? No? Okay. Can you see my Excel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I want to make an example to about how to measure performance, and then the second is how to uh, measure about satisfaction. Satisfaction. And we cannot measure directly these two variables. It will be different with when we want to measure what is your weight, what's your tall, and etc. Yeah. So when we want to measure the performance, for example, and satisfaction, for example, we have some indicators that uh, can be used as a representation of the performance. For example, indicator 1, indicator 2, and yes, maybe we have some indicators, maybe until indicator uh, M, yes. I think will the same, yes. And like this, yes. This indicator is represent represented by a question, uh, question about something, I think, something that represents an performance. Okay, okay, yeah. Mm, and then I want to move this perform indicator to this. Yes. Indicator. Okay, like this. Uh, yes. Okay. Maybe in next week I will make a better presentation to you, real case about the performance and also satisfaction. And then okay, we will measure the performance or satisfaction, and we make a survey to some respondents. I think we can insert and then number 1, 2, or this, and yes, for example, for yeah, 14, 5, yeah, for example, for 20 person or 20 respondent, yeah. And then yes, like this, yes. Okay, yeah. Indicator 1 is the indicator, and I want to make like this, I think, yeah. Indicator 1, indicator 2, indicator. Yeah, yes. This indicator. Indicator means the statement or question that represents about the performance or about the satisfaction. For example, a performance of a student. I mean, the first is uh, how often do you study? How often do you study? About statistic. This is the multiple choice, and from yes, from mm, uh, very rarely. This is for example, yeah. Like this, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the we call it the Likert scale. Yeah, Likert scale. You can you can open your Google, yeah, Likert scale, yeah, like this, and then um, sometime, and often, very often. I'm sorry. Very often is. Okay. This is the example, yeah. Okay. Yes. Sorry, I have to. Yeah. Okay. Indicator one half. Okay. And inserts the respondent. Yeah, respondent. You know respondent? Yes, like this. Okay. For example, again, and yes. Oh, I mean performance, number of respondent. Okay. And then the second is how often do you study post statistic? And performance is I think how mm, Mm. How often do you assignment, for example? How often do you studies? How often do you assignment? And etc. until indicator number M. For example, uh, this is about performance, yeah. Performance is performance. How often, for example, how often do you attend course? Yeah. How often do you attend course class? Yeah. So and etc. Yeah, like this, and then when we make a question, this question we having this question to the respondent number one, Mr. Ek. I mean, so the from this question, and maybe yes, when we answer orally also two, and then maybe how do the assignment sometime maybe yes. Often do you attend class? Maybe often or very often. Yes, yes, and etc. The same question will be given to one, two, and for example, the 100 respondent. So from this questionnaire, we can measure performance of a student by using this question. Maybe you can define more question that represent about performance of a student. Okay. Okay, do you understand what I mean about the indicators to measure qualitative variables like performance and satisfaction and etc.
Yes, Paul, yes, we understand.
Okay, thank you. I hope and yeah, the student also understand. Okay. Okay. Yes. So uh, yes, respondents, number of respondent, yeah, number of respondent. Uh, okay. Okay. Yes. Indicator. And so, uh, for example, we have three indicators to measure a performance. From the first respondents, we we have we have the answer from the first respondent about the three question is 2, 3, and then 5. Okay, 2, 3, and then 5. So the data will be like this. uh, 235, 235, 235. Okay. From the second respondent, with the same question, like this, yeah, the same question. Yes, yes. The second respondent will answer, for example, uh, often, and then, sorry, like this, or this maybe the answer not in the number, maybe, yeah. But because the column is like this, I think we can use symbol like this, maybe symbol or same symbol, yes, insert like this. Okay, yeah, like this. I mean, oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, maybe like this, and then if you can copy, and then maybe like this. And how often do you attend class? This. So the second respondent for for for. Okay. Yes, like this. And then the search, maybe, yeah, the search respondent, search like this, and maybe copy. How often do you study? Yes, sometimes maybe. And then do you assign? Yes, yes, to you maybe sometime again. And so 3 4 3. That's 3 4 3. Energy data, and then to number 100 respondent, same question. Then maybe the yes, can say, and then maybe like this, and then like this, and then maybe like this. Yes, 2 4 5, and then yes, we can continue until I check. I'm sorry, I have a problem with the connection. Do you still, do you can see my Excel? Do you still can see my Excel?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yes, yes. Okay, yes. The respondent number 100, maybe the answer is how often do you study for statistic? Two, and then how often do you assign 4, and then do you of how often do you attend class? 5, 2 4 5. So the answer is 2 4 5. Okay. Uh, the first step is we have to make hypothesis testing about the validity and reliability of the indicators. Whether the indicators are appropriate to measure the performance. It's needed to be testing by using validity tests and also reliability tests. Okay. And now is 4:36 p.m. Yeah, we still have about 10 or 15 minutes to. Okay. Mm, okay. These indicators, these three indicators are developed by yourself or by myself, and uh, this is only my perception that these indicators will good to measure the performance, but we have to prove that my statement about the indicators is true. Okay, it needs to be proven. It's to be proven. Yeah, uh, when this indicator are true, when an indicator is true, is valid and reliable, we can continue to use these indicators, this indicator, to measure the performance. But when an indicator is not true, is not valid, or is not reliable, so we cannot continue to use this indicator to measure the performance. Okay. When the indicator, when an indicator uh, is not true or is not valid, so we have to throw away the indicator. For example, when we have 5 indicators to measure performance, and indicator number 1 until number 5, and then, for example, indicator number 3 is not valid, so the indicator number 3 have to be thrown away, and we know we have only 4 indicators to measure the performance. And the indicator number 3 is because it has been thrown away, so the indicator uh, cannot cannot be used, and then, yeah, we only have 4 remaining indicators. Okay. Yes, this is the principle of validity and reliability tests. Okay. And maybe I will use statistical software or Excel maybe, but maybe the time is not enough to us to make yes, a calculation. But maybe I have a task to you to make a description about some variables, some qualitative variables. Please define, please, yes, uh, please mention some variable from some some variables, some qualitative variables, and then uh, please make some indicators that can be used as measurement indicators, some question or some indicators that can be used to measure the variables in your mind, maybe based on or you can search in, so yeah, in various source why the indicator can be, why you use these indicators. Okay, I think like this, yeah. Uh, the in my example is the first variable is performance and the second is satisfactions, and maybe you can mention another variables, some variables, another variables, uh, and then uh, please describe the indicators one, two, three until some indicators. You can choose your own number about the indicators, and but it should be more than two indicators. Okay, and then you can yeah, after you define your variable and the indicators, and you this class is there are, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 person, yeah. You can make you can use another you yourself and your friend as a respondent, so you will have uh, 8 respondent, yourself and your friends. Okay, you can use each other, your friend as a respondents, to answer your question in these indicators. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 respondent. Okay. Do you understand what I mean about your task?
Yes,
How would
Pak.
you repeat it again? I mean,
Yes.
just explain it again. I mean,
Oh,
the task is gonna be like,
okay. Uh, number one is please define some qualitative variables. I think, please define two minimum of two variables. In my example, is performance, and then the second is satisfaction, and etc. You can choose or three of other variables or the same. I think no problem when you choose the same variable with me, satisfaction maybe. But you satisfaction about what can be different, yeah? It can be different, or performance about what can be different. Okay, or maybe another variables. Yes. The second is after you define, after you choose some minimum two variables, uh, please define some indicators, some indicators that uh, can be measured, can uh, be used a measurement indicator that can be measurement to your variables. Some indicator in your mind, uh, in your mind that can be used as indicator to measure your qualitative variables. Okay, do you understand? Number the second, and then the third is uh, please um, make your friend as respondent. Okay, yourself and your friend as respondent. So each of you will have a respondent. Okay, because you each other will uh, yeah um, will make this question or um, will ask your friend with this question or this indicator, and the choice uh, of the answer is can be the same with my multiple choice, very rarely, sometime, often, very often, or you can use another choice. Uh, for example, uh, not agree or very, yeah, not very, not agree, and then not agree, and then doubtful, maybe, yeah? Doubtful, then agree, very agree. Okay, you can use, for example, this choice. Okay, it's depend on your question, or maybe another choice, no problem. Yes, the main thing is that uh, from 1 to 5 will as an ascending results. Okay. Okay. Any question?
No, but thank you.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
when will the deadline for the assignment?
This is Tuesday. I think the next course is Friday. So uh, Friday, Tuesday, yeah. Before before our class, I think uh, Friday morning, you have to finish your task. So and Friday afternoon, when we have a class again, we can discuss your tasks, and we can continue the result of your tasks with validity and reliability testing. Okay. Okay. Are you agree? Do you agree?
Sir, yes.
Okay. Um, and so in Friday you have to you should have uh, the answer like this from respondent number 1 until number 8, you and your friend. Uh, Although I think the number is not enough to make a survey to make yes make a conclusion like that's in the real problem, but this is only exercise, so I think no problem. Will be use only a few samples, yeah, a few samples, yeah. When you make a real research, so you will need more sample. You will need more respondent. And one of the sample is by using formula like I think like I'm sorry, I'm forget like Slovene, yeah, Slovene formula. I'm sorry, formula. Calculator, yeah, calculator. And there is okay. How to determine the sample size? Another question answer. Okay, sample. Okay, this is the formula of Slovene. When we have population size, for example, population is uh, 500,000. The population size is 500 posts, 500,000, and then we have 95% confidence level, as I said before, yeah, about the level of confidence. So we can, okay, we can, yes, calculator. Oh. Sorry, I'm sorry. Wow, not. Not a simple calculator, I think. Respond. Yes. No. Slovene's formula. Sample Slovene formula. Maybe this is the formula. N is the number of population. And where is the calculator? No? Computer level. No. Okay, we can use Excel, I think, yeah. We can use Excel. When we use 95% of level confidence, so that the margin of error is 5%. Okay, and margin of error if 5%. Okay, for example, when we use this formula like this, I'm sorry, like this, yeah. When, for example, n is the number of population, for example, 10,000 and 10,000, for example, 10,000, and then the margin of error, margin of error is any number of population, yes, number of population. It means that when margin of error is equal to 0.05, so that the level of confidence is equal to 0.95 or 95%. I mean, okay, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think like this. So n, the number of sample needed, is equal to, is divided by 1 plus yes, 380, yes, person respondent. When we have, for example, when we have 10,000 population. So yes, I just want to explain that your sample size, a sample is not enough in a real problem, yeah. But this is only the example, an example. So I think yes, it will be enough to you, yeah, to make your friend as respondents. Okay.
Yes, Pak. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I think now time is up. Now it's 5 p.m. clock, and we will continue our class.